Yo, peoples, qushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another iteration of me reacting to the One Piece anime. Onwards to the next episode, because it's about to go down with Law and Blackbeard. Let's get it started. Last we left off, Blackbeard was sailing out of the fog, directly into the path of one Trafalgar Law. So, an encounter is pretty much guaranteed. The winner takes all. Law versus Blackbeard. I've been waiting for this to be animated. A certain sea area, New World. Yo, that's the Polar Tang. What was that red lightning though? Something's exploding underwater. Whew. The Blackbeard pirates are on him. Look at his hand. What in the world? Bruh, that's the effect that happens when he uses the Quake power? Red lightning? It's not hockey, but we got Law coughing, but we don't see Law. Whoa, hips? Whoa, not hips? Law's a woman now. Well, there's the gender bender for one of the worst generations that a lot of people wanted. Everyone's being changed. All the dudes are being changed into ladies. This is as if Emporio Ivankov's devil fruit has spread throughout the ship, as if it was awakened. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Information I've wanted to say to all of you for quite some time. An overabundance of hockey can nullify devil fruit powers. Let me say that again. If your hockey is strong enough, you can nullify devil fruit effects. This dude is focusing his hockey so much that he turned back into a dude again. And everyone else turned back to normal as well, but focusing that much hockey it appears to be strenuous. They made landfall. There's Doc Q and Stronger. The feminization disease, Doc Q, sick fruit. Van Ogre with the warp fruit. And they just straight up teleport. Look at him. Look at Burgess. He's holding up a mountain. That's not an exaggeration. It's a whole mountain. Jesus Burgess with the strong fruit. So now, this man who had monstrous strength when we first seen him, and then even more monstrous strength during Dressrosa, is now even more powerful with a devil fruit that gives him pretty much ultimate strength. And like Law said, all of their bounties went up as soon as they got devil fruits. Can you imagine having a whole mountain thrown at you? Is this the first time that Law actually gives a name to him slicing things apart in his room? Amputate? Or am I not remembering it correctly? Listen to that laugh! There is no one who can do a laugh like Blackbeard in this show. This dude is laughing as jovial as he did when he first showed up at Marineford. Look at him, laughing his heart out while he's crushing Doc Q on Stronger. Stronger, horse fruit, mythical type model Pegasus. He knows of the events of Wano. The world has been turned upside down, it feels good. I'll take them all, the road poneglyphs. Look at the smile on Law. We haven't seen Law have a smile this big since Dressrosa, when he was smiling in front of Doflamingo. The winner takes all. And of course, we would go into a transition scene as the battle between Law and Blackbeard begins. If we go back to Egghead, please continue with Law. Please continue with Law. Yes, we're continuing with Law. Yo, no matter where you go, there is nowhere to run. So, is this a new thing for Blackbeard? Look at his face! This man is enjoying himself. Yo, animation change for Law. Yo, re-room. Yo, and he threw a room at Blackbeard. Whoo. A long-range Yo, look at it! Oh! Whew! So this whole time, Blackbeard had no idea that Law awakened his devil fruit, so that's new to him. Yo, Tremor Crush? Yo! I don't think we've even seen this level of destruction when Whitebeard was using it. Now, mind you, we've seen like shockwaves where it tears up all around an island and even upheavals the seas around it, but just seeing this overall destruction of the Quake fruit in Blackbeard's hands. Look at how widespread that crack in the sky is. With Blackbeard wielding it, and we just got Q and Stronger just falling through the air with no way of saving themselves. And Q's just throwing apples. They're exploding apples. See, you've heard the phrase, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Oh, whoa, what is going on with Shachi? Just inhaling water? Yo, he is pinpoint accurate with those water shots. We're from an extremely cold port in the North Blue. Don't think you can beat us at sea. We're gonna sink your ship. Man, okay, Shachi and Penguin, you are showing your mettle right now. And even as Blackbeard falls through the air towards the sea, like he's literally falling towards it, he's still laughing. This is something the Joker would do. Yo, Van Ogre, yo, Jean Bart, just how tough are you to stop a bullet with your abs? Oh, Law's using Chrome. Yo, the sound of it as he's literally glazing. Oh! Ooh, shock will on Blackbeard. Blackbeard's all like, this doesn't hurt at all. Until, yep, that's what you get. That's what you get. That's what you get for having a big mouth. Even Van Ogre saying the same thing. This is what happens when you charge in without thinking. Yo, that landing from Blackbeard though. That landing from Blackbeard though was kind of solid, I ain't gonna lie. He's one of the main villains of this series, but that was clean. That was very clean. Man, Shachi and Penguin can really move in the water, can't they? Yeah, Shachi and Penguin are really showing their worth right now. They're moving almost as well as Jinbei. Almost. Yo, inside the Blackbeard pirate ship. And who do they have inside their brig? It's Pudding! Charlotte Pudding, Big Mom Pirates. And it's showing a flashback as we have Van Ogre and someone else walking through Whole Cake Island. And the whole place is frozen. And we know who could do this. Even Cracker. Yo, Cracker fought them back, but... Yo, Van Ogre just so... This is a clean episode. This is a very clean episode. Van Ogre is clean on the draw. And then the whole place just gets cold. Oh my god! We know who this is. We know who this is as Cracker gets turned into a living frozen statue. Yo! And you know how close Brule is to her siblings. There was nothing he could do. Wow. And we know who that other guy is. I'm not gonna say. The intruder's goal was to abduct Pudding. Their identities were the Blackbeard Pirates, Van Ogre, and Kuzan. Yep. Bruh. Kuzan just, oh my goodness. This is such a good episode. How long has it been since we've seen a Kainu? It's frustrating to be the admiral of the fleet. Ain't nobody tell you to try and go after the job. You thought it was gonna be easy? Yo, the animation quality has gone up considerably. This is one of those high-grade sections. Ooh, with his elbow! With his elbow! Blocking it with his elbow! This animation is so clean. And Blackbeard is clashing with Law's Kroom. Yo, Quake in one hand, Dark in the other. Law, you're used to fighting people who are normal or abnormal, or they have a devil fruit, but you are not used to fighting someone with 2 devil fruits at once. To be continued as it just gets covered in darkness. Oh my goodness. On the clouds far above the ground, a whole laboratory appears. What kind of research is the head of the lab, Vegapunk, doing behind closed doors? A new threat awaits the Straw Hats as they enter the heart of science. On the next episode of One Piece, the mystery deepens, Egghead Loboface. I'm gonna become the king of the pirates. That's all I can say is I'm gonna be honest with all of you. I didn't think we were gonna focus on Law and Blackbeard this long. It was literally a whole episode of nothing but Law versus Blackbeard. I was so skeptical and so worried that if we were to cut away during the transition scene, then it was going to cut back to Egghead or someplace else. But no, it went it went right back to it. Law versus Blackbeard. We got to see all the things that Blackbeard and his crew can do, including Blackbeard, whose Quake powers are capable of emanating this red lightning. Now, it's not like Shanks's hockey lightning. Let's not get that confused. That is unique to Shanks. But now we have Blackbeard, whose Quake powers are capable of emitting like this red lightning. And I'm going to say it. Even though we've seen Whitebeard do many things with the Quake fruit, I'm not even going to downplay all the things that he's done across the series, both during Marineford and during the events of Odin's flashback, where we got to see more of his Quake powers when he was in his prime. But this episode just fully showed how Blackbeard does not care about collateral damage. I want to say, whereas Whitebeard refined his control over the Quake fruit. Sure, Blackbeard refined his control, but his is more, I want to say, far more destructively led. Like, more keen to be in he's not afraid to go overboard with it. Like, it's all like, hey, law's in front of me. Let me just break a half a mile's worth of sky just to get to Law. And then another thing that creeped up was Doc Q and his Sick fruit, where he created a feminization disease that basically turned many members of Law's crew into women, including Law himself. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be turning that moment into a GIF. We're going to be using it as photos to talk about for quite some time when we get like Ms. Law. Beppo got turned as well as Shachi and Penguin and anyone else that got touched because of Doc Q's Sick fruit. Then we get Van Ogre, who's just straight up teleportation. Just straight up teleportation. I don't even want to think about all the different things that you can do with that, because he's capable of transporting both himself and another person. Then you get Jesus Burgess with the strong fruit, where the man was already like inhumanly strong before. Like, we've seen it during his encounter with Ace, where he threw a whole building at him. Then we've seen it even more during the Corrida Coliseum section of Dressrosa, where he bodied every single person in his fighting block. And then we see all of his strength with, like, Hado Elbow or Galleon Lariato. And we've seen his strength where he's capable of just, like, cleaving buildings in half with just the shockwave of him swinging his arm. Now this man has a devil fruit that increases his strength to God knows what level. So this is the power of the Blackbeard pirates. We already know about Shiryu of the Rain, and we already know about Katarina Devon. Shiryu has the invisible fruit, the invisible fruit stolen from Absalom. And then we have Katarina Devon, who has like a Zoan fruit that turns her into the mythical Ninetales, which allows her to, just fully transform her body. Far greater than that of Bon Clay's clone fruit, because it doesn't require that you touch someone. So that's them. But we got Blackbeard and his crew just showing their power. Oh, and Stronger can turn into a Pegasus. So there's that. But just showcasing their power and their strength. And it really is no surprise that these people are pretty much one of the endgame bosses of this entire series of One Piece, because they just got those powers. But another key thing to note here, and I know I should be cutting this short, but I had a lot to say during this episode. I feel like I talked more in this episode than any other episode recently for One Piece. But one thing to take note of is that Law said that if your haki with an overabundance, couldn't even say the word, with an overabundance of haki, you are capable of nullifying devil fruit effects. You want to know how this has been straight in front of our faces and we didn't think too much of it? But now we got a full-on confirmation of it. Case in point, anytime you see a hockey user use their hockey to nullify a Logia's intangibility, or the case of Shanks during Marineford, where he used hockey to not only stop Akainu from killing Kobe, but also make it so that his sword didn't melt up against Akainu's fist. That is a case of overwhelm and overabundance of hockey that can nullify Devil Fruit powers. Normally, and we've seen it with Akainu during Marineford, weapons that touch him melted instantly. But Shanks' hockey is so strong that it's capable of nullifying the very power of the Mag fruit itself, allowing his sword to touch him and block him without his sword melting or anything. We've seen different cases of even when Law said that he couldn't use his room against Big Mom and Kaido because their hockey was that strong, it literally meant that Kaido and Big Mom's hockey at the time was so dense that not even the power of the Op fruit was capable of doing anything to him. That's just how strong their hockey is. So, with this episode, for you anime viewers, you get a full-on confirmation and explanation that if your hockey is strong enough, you can nullify, not block, just fully nullify the effects of a Devil Fruit. The question is, how can this be applied? There's many applications, but we got a big old fight between Law and Blackbeard. But like I said during my reaction, Law may have fought some regular people. He may have fought some people with Devil Fruits. He may have fought some Yonkos like Big Mom and Kaido, but he's never fought a person who can wield 2 Devil Fruits at once, especially 2 Devil Fruits where one is called the most evil and one called the most powerful, the strongest Devil Fruit in the world, or at least the Devil Fruit capable of destroying the world. So now all we're left with is just like Blackbeard's Kurozu. Just going over Law, and then it's to be continued. All I can say is that the animation, the fight choreography, seeing Kuzan, who is now fully confirmed to be a member of the Blackbeard Pirates, and how he and Van Ogre just bodied everyone. It wasn't even really Van Ogre and Kuzan. Kuzan froze everyone in Whole Cake Island, because we find out they kidnapped Pudding. So there's just so much in this episode I wish I could talk about, but then the video is going to be too long. I am so sorry for that. But overall, this was a great episode. Oh, I want to get on One Piece right now and just play as Blackbeard and play as Kuzan. I love this series. Let me know what you thought of this episode as a whole. All I can say to you, and if I have any new people who are watching this reaction for their very first time, thank you for sticking towards the end. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, subscribe, even become a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!